Hello, brick sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris. Sorry for the quieter intro. Some people said that it's kind of painful when I scream in your ears, so I guess I'll make it a little bit more chill from now on. But anyway, today we have an exciting new pieces video, and we are going to talk all about piece 11253, the Rollerskate. The Rollerskate was introduced in 2013 and came out for a very obvious purpose, to be a minifig accessory as a roller skate. But just like LEGO does with pretty much everything they do, this has plenty of other purposes. And being a small piece, it can be incredibly useful. If you watch my content, you'll know that I like to build with as small of pieces as possible because it's the way to get the most detail out of a build. So let me show you some of the stuff we can do with this roller skate piece. Now first I want to go through some of the basics of what connections you can make with this piece, because there are some limitations and some rules you have to follow. First of all, the piece has a standard connection on the bottom, and it can stick directly to a base plate like such. Now obviously these side portions are not useful in this regard, and the only thing we can attach onto this would be on the top. Now it is a great detail piece and will give a little bit of extra greebling if you use it in this fashion, but that's about all it's going to be good for flat on a base plate like this. So next let's try to boost it up a little bit, and we'll just stick this on top of a 1x1 brick. Now unfortunately this doesn't do a whole lot because the height wasn't the only problem. The problem is also the width. You see, the roller skate piece is designed to be the same width as a minifig foot, which is basically the same width as a brick. So in doing this, we don't really gain anything other than being able to elevate the height of the roller skate. But how can we make this so we can utilize these side wheels as connection points? Well, we need something a little bit slimmer. And the first go-to that I tried was the telescope. Now when you take the telescope piece and put it on the bottom of the roller skate, you'll see that it allows the side portions to be exposed and hang over because the top of this telescope is not a brick's width. So that means that when we do it like this, we can attach anything with an open stud on the sides, just like that. Now I should mention that this piece is still a little bit in the way, and these won't be able to push all the way on to the roller skate. But they will have a nice firm connection and it will be useful. You can also put them in the back position on the back wheels there, but you can't put them on both at the same time. There's not enough space. You can also put a stud on top here, but I should mention that it will not stick all the way down because it will interfere with these studs. Now another obvious choice would be the lightsaber hilt. And the lightsaber hilt is actually thinner at the top than the telescope. Instead of having a ridge all the way around, it just has these 4 prongs. So we can position this very nicely underneath our roller skate and give us even more room underneath to make our attachment points with our studs. Especially if you align it like this, where these facets are in the middle of the wheels. You now can put these side pieces on, and they're going to stick pretty much all the way on to the roller skate. And again, you can also put one on top, but it will not go down 100% of the way. Now you can flip the lightsaber hilt over, but it's going to be just like the telescope piece. This outer ring is the same width, so it will work, but it's not going to work as the lightsaber will do upside down. Now there's another cool piece that's very closely related to the lightsaber hilt, and that is this piece here that has a 90-degree angle on it and 2 connection points. So on this, we could actually put 2 roller skates on here in either orientation and have even more connection points. We can connect on the front of this, we can connect on the back of this, and we can connect on both outsides of this. Now again, you won't be able to put these right next to each other, but you can put them kitty corner, and you can have lots of different connections then on this cluster based around the roller skate. Another piece that makes this easier to connect is the cone piece. Now the cone piece has a tapered top, so it doesn't get in the way of the wheels as much as the 1x1 brick or even the 1x1 round. Now one final piece that connects really well with this is the Dnot piece. And the Dnot piece works well because the top is so close to the top of the stud. In fact, the stud actually sticks out higher. So if we take a roller skate and put it on the front of a Dnot, those two wheels are totally accessible. Now I want to share some other pieces that attach really well to the sides on these wheels. First off, there's one piece that just fits super natural, and that is the binocular piece. That's right, the two lenses fit perfectly with the two wheels on the roller skate, just like such. What an amazing connection. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't do a whole lot other than extend the roller skate wheels out much further, but it is super cool looking, and you could think of, I'm sure, some really cool greebling and effects that you could make out of that setup there. Another thing we can do is use clips. All kinds of clips. Really any clip, although it's not the greatest connection, it only grabs about half of the clip, will fit on there. Now this central portion does not have the greatest measurements, and you do have some awkward gaps in here when you do this. But you could have two articulating pieces here that would look really good attached to the outside of this roller skate. This also works well with these pieces, and they actually fit nice and snug on there. It does leave a more sizable gap in the middle, and it is kind of a strangely spaced gap. You can also use droid arms, something like this, to attach on the outside. You could think of some cool applications to do with that. Another nice connection is this piece with the bar on the end. Fits very nicely on there and has the ability to rotate. And you can do that on either side. And you can also use this to change the direction of a candlestick. Now it's not the cleanest looking, but you might need to hang something on the middle there. So this could work out well, and you can change the direction of the candlestick orientation. These kind of arm pieces here, with the hole in this side for a bar, and the clip on that side fit really nicely on these, and have the ability to rotate. There's lots and lots and lots of pieces you can do this with. But I do want to talk about some other uses for this piece, and one that might be considered a little bit more on the illegal side. Now, one of the most intriguing parts about the roller skate is this front portion here. It looks like half of a stud. And if you're very careful with it, you can actually stick a piece on there. Now, I will caution you, this is pretty much totally illegal. And the reason being is it does mar up the pieces, and it is just ever so slightly wider than a stud. But if you're willing to bend the rules a little bit, this can turn into the smallest, or one of the smallest, snot pieces that Lego makes. Let me show you what I mean. To demonstrate this, I want to show an alt brick that I'm quite fond of. I don't use these in my Lego builds, but it's a piece that I think Lego should definitely consider making for themselves. And that's this piece here. You see, it's a simple 1x1 plate with a stud that just kind of hangs on the front. They make it an up version like this, and also a down version like this. And the beauty of these pieces is, if you take them and set them up like such, I have some double versions as well, and these are made by Go Bricks, by the way. You can then take another portion, and you can put a stud really anywhere you want on a flat wall. Very handy and really easy to incorporate into a build because you don't have to build in space for an entire brick, just for a plate. But the cool thing is the roller skate kind of acts the same. They'll line up perfectly because it's the same width as a 1x1, and you can build them right into a wall. Now you do have that backside sticking out, But just like these are designed to stick things on the front and turn into snot pieces, you can do the same with this, with an official Lego piece. It's just a tight fit and mildly illegal. But any of these applications here, if you wanted to, you could take another stud and put it right off the front. And there's a lot of cool things you could do with that. So one more way that this piece becomes quite useful. I should note that you can do it on the back of the roller skate as well. The pieces don't hold that great though, because the section is smaller and it tends to slide around. So the front I think works better for it, but you can do it on the back too. Now, why do I make these videos? I make these videos so I learn, and I make them so hopefully you guys can learn with me. And I had a lot of fun exploring this piece, and I wanted to show a few things that I've built with this. The first time I've used this piece in a snot fashion with this mildly illegal technique was for this pine tree. This was my original ultimate pine tree that I did a video on. If you want to watch that, I'll link it here as well as at the end of the video. And I converted this for Christmas into a full-blown Christmas tree. I decorated the whole thing, and I couldn't figure out the star. And the trickiest part was, I wanted to use this star, but unfortunately, how am I going to attach that? I need a tiny snot piece. So here's what I came up with. I started with a Rollerskate, 1x1 round plate with open stud on top and bottom. I put one of these spear tips in gold on top, and then I put my star on the front, and then I was able to fix it right on top of the Christmas tree, giving it a super nice look. Now, yes, it is mildly illegal, but a super small handy snot piece nonetheless. But there's a lot of other things you can do with this, and I'm just going to show a few examples here. I'm sure everybody knows, or most of you probably know, that these pieces work really well on micro builds. Make a little tiny truck here with several different wheels. I did this train for my toys, tips, tricks, and techniques video. I'll link that here as well as at the end. They also look really nice lined up as toy cars. You could put this in a child's room, you could put it on a shelf, lots of cool stuff you could do with it. I know people often put pieces on the top. I don't love the look of them with pieces on the top. You could do cheese slopes or rounds or all kinds of stuff. I think they look best just like that, like a minimalist car, maybe like an F1 car or a go-kart or something like that. But I think that they look really good lined up in all different colors like this. And of course, you can make trophies out of them too. Not roller skating trophies, car racing trophies. Well, I guess you can make roller skating trophies too, but anyway. So there's some cool uses, and as always, I want to ask you guys what you've found to do with this piece, because that's how I learn. I want to see if you've got any techniques that maybe I could use in my builds. Go ahead and list in the comments things that you like to do with the roller skate piece and how you use it in your own work, because I'd love to hear from you. Well, that's all I have for this time. I hope you guys liked this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I do more just like this in the future. That's all I have for this time, and we will see you next time.